Casper. Werner. Werner says Andreas. Baltasar says salutations, Andreas. Most wonderful to see you here. Werner says I see you two have met. What do you want with an inventor? Baltasar says I make all manner of mechanical contraptions, filled with gears and levers and other such delights. Andreas here is a man of the mind. Why shouldn't he find interest in my work? Werner says, for all the use it is. Baltasar says the mind of the inventor exists to create, to build, to go one step further. Werner says one step further toward the garbage heap. Haha. Option 1 of 2 a very inspiring thought, Baltas. Option 2 of 2 it makes sense you'd also be rude to your friends, Werner. Baltasar says why, I thank you, master artist. Speaking of, have you had the chance to look around town tonight? I imagine the sights could also be inspiring to your artistic mind. Option 1 of 2 tassing certainly looks cheerful with the decorations and bonfire. Option 2 of 2 what do you mean? Option 1 of 2 tassing certainly looks cheerful with the decorations and bonfire. Baltasar says indeed. Look at their peasant ingenuity. Consider the bonfire itself. It is built to allow the air and the heat to flow through it at great speed. And how it roars. Option 1 of 2 it's a clever piece of construction. But Otto's a clever man. Option 2 of 2 yes, and Option 1 of 2 it's a clever piece of construction. But Otto's a clever man. Baltasar says it is a feat almost worthy of an university degree. These people have natural traditions. They've managed to figure out many clever things without even the most cursory education. It is knowledge that hails from preceding generations. Lived experience passed along the chain of time, not quite the knowledge of a rigorously educated mind, perhaps, but nonetheless useful. Option 1 of 2 you don't need a university education to be smart. Option 2 of 2 I just don't see the use for any of it. Option 1 of 2 you don't need a university education to be smart. Werner says of course you would say that. Neither of you know these people like I do. God has assigned them their place in the order of the world for good reason. Baltasar says there is some merit in learning from the peasants. Even you, Werner, given their understanding of herbal remedies. Werner says their traditions are profane. Consider the Eve of St. John, tainted by their pagan rituals. It's an affront to Christ. Saint Eligius warned against precisely this nearly 1,000 years ago. Option 1 of 3 and nothing has come of these pagan festivals in all that time. Option 2 of 3 where did this newfound piety come from? Option 3 of 3 you really wound up about this, aren't you? Option 1 of 3 and nothing has come of these pagan festivals in all that time. Werner says the harm infects a man's eternal soul. You might not see it, but God can. Option 1 of 2 where did this newfound piety come from? Option 2 of 2 you really wound up about this, aren't you? Option 1 of 2 where did this newfound piety come from? Werner says don't pretend to know anything about me. I've been on the pilgrimage to Aachen. I have visited the Marentrain and stood in the presence of those holy relics. To be in the presence of St. John the Baptist's beheading cloth was an experience I will never forget. Option 1 of 3 I haven't managed the pilgrimage myself, but I hope to. Option 2 of 3 I am glad you've had an experience. Your family must be proud. Option 3 of 3 I am familiar, thank you. Option 1 of 3 I haven't managed the pilgrimage myself, but I hope to. Werner says it would do you good, Mailer. You need it. Baltasar says now. Let us keep peace in our hearts as brothers in Christ. We're here to celebrate. Player says I'll let you continue with your evening, then. Good night. Baltasar says a very good night. Oh, and do come by my workshop, Master Mailer. I would love to exchange ideas. Option 1 of 2 it would be my pleasure. Option 2 of 2 if I can find the time. Option 1 of 2 it would be my pleasure. Baltasar says splendid. Until then. Werner says Mailer. Werner. Hello, Andreas. Carl. Carl says hello, Andreas. Johann Bauer Farm, Johann. Carl. Casper. Casper says Master Andreas, look at how big the bonfire is. The decorations are so fancy. Option 1 of 2 The St. John's Eve Festival is a big event for Tassing. I missed it last time I was here. Haven't you ever been to a festival like this, Casper? Option 2 of 2 The festivals in Nuremberg are much bigger. Tassing's is quite tame, comparatively. Option 1 of 2 The St. John's Eve Festival is a big event for Tassing. I missed it last time I was here. Haven't you ever been to a festival like this, Casper? Casper says no, I've never seen anything like this. Can I stay at the bonfire and see the costumes and watch them collect herbs, Master Mailer? Please? Option 1 of 2 right, but follow along and don't get in their way. I'm too tired for the festival. I think I'll just turn in for the night. Option 2 of 2 Casper. It's late, and I don't want to risk the abbot's anger. Let's just head back and go to sleep. Option 1 of 2 right, but follow along and don't get in their way. I'm too tired for the festival. I think I'll just turn in for the night. Casper says yes. I promise I won't make trouble. I'll see you tomorrow, Master. Casper. I'll be home later, Master Andreas. Go to bed. Player says it's getting late, I should get some rest. Option 1 of 2 go to sleep. Option 2 of 2 stay awake. Option 1 of 2 go to sleep. Sabine says. Player says what is it? Sabine says, option 1 of 2 what? Option 2 of 2 wait. Sabine says come home. Option 1 of 3 I will. Soon. Option 2 of 3 stop bothering me. Option 3 of 3 I know. Option 1 of 3 I will. Sabine says you're lying. Sometimes I think you must despise me. But maybe it's worse than that. Maybe I'm nothing to be regarded at all. What am I to you now? An annoyance? A bother? A nuisance to be ignored while you lead another life in Krakow? Was there ever an ounce of love in your heart for me? Option 1 of 3 of course there was. Option 2 of 3 this was never about love, Sabine. Option 3 of 3 as much as you had for me. Option 1 of 3 of course there was. Sabine says but no longer. Option 1 of 2 I hate talking to you when you're like this. Option 2 of 2 say nothing. Sabine says fine. Go back to counting your money, the only thing that makes you happy. This house is so lonely without him. Player says stop. Sabine says your presence would only amplify the grief. Player says stop. Sabine says leave me alone. Leave me alone with the memory of him. Player says stop. Just leave me alone. Just for one night. One night where I don't have to dream about him. Please. Thank you. August says. Player says. August says. Option 1 of 2 HELLO. Option 2 of 2 say nothing. Option 1 of 2 HELLO, August. August says. Option 1 of 2 WHAT am I supposed to do, just wait here with you? Option 2 of 2 I know you aren't going to say anything. Option 1 of 2 WHAT am I supposed to do, just wait here with you? August says. Player says I suppose I can do that. Just pass the night in silence with you, August says. Option 1 of 2 I am sorry I couldn't do anything for you. Option 2 of 2 say nothing. Option 1 of 2 I am sorry I couldn't do anything for you, August says. Option 1 of 2 I am so tired, August. Option 2 of 2 I suppose there's not much one can do against plague, August says. Player says do you get tired where you are, August says. Player says the last time I saw you, I said good night to you, I couldn't come to the bed, so I stood in the doorway. I just stood in the dark. You didn't say anything back so I said it again. I don't know how long I stood there, just waiting for you to say, good night, August says. Player says. August says. Player says you still look the same age to me. I wonder if I'll ever forget your face. August says. Player says do I remember your mother as she is? Option 1 of 2 I remember loving her. Option 2 of 2 or am I just thinking of some perversion of Daniel's portrait? Option 1 of 2 I remember loving her, August says. Option 1 of 2 can you ever picture someone clearly if you love them? Option 2 of 2 can you ever picture someone clearly if you hate them? Option 1 of 2 can you ever picture someone clearly if you love them? August says. Player says I loved you, little boy. Option 1 of 2 I wish I didn't. Option 2 of 2 I loved you so much. Player says sometimes I wish I could die so I wouldn't feel it. August says. Player says but I can't, so I retrace my steps every night, and I find my way back to her, back to you. August says. Player says I love you, August, good night. Player says what happened to this place? Where is Prester John? And where are Socrates and Saint Grobian? Grobian wasn't on the ship of fools. Melancholia says. Player says won't you answer me? Melancholia says no thoughts for Beatrice? Player says you are Beatrice, aren't you? Melancholia says once. I was a voice of caution, of prudence. Player says and now? Melancholia says more and less than caution. The ache of doubt that stiffens to paralysis. Paralysis that breeds despair. Player says Melancholia. Option 1 of 2 WHAT happened to you? Option 2 of 2 WHAT happened to the others? Option 1 of 2 WHAT happened to you? Melancholia says what happens to you happens to us. The foundations of this city are still moored within the ocean of your mind. Its court does not rule your mind. Your once reason, curiosity, and the foolishness of youth dwelt under the aegis of your intellect. I am all that remains, the melancholy of life's autumn. Option 1 of 3 but it is only June. Option 2 of 3 is that it, then? Option 3 of 3 how did it come to this? Melancholia says you have turned your gaze to your own dark center. You know the courses of your own life. You know how the choices you've made have brought you here. Player says what am I supposed to do about it now? Melancholia says change your life. Player says. Wait. I shouldn't be here. I needed to help someone. Is Casper all right? Melancholia says so your thoughts aren't entirely turned inward. There is still something in you that cares for others in spite of your melancholy. Perhaps there is still hope for us. Wake up, Andreas. Go to bed. Player says I can't go back to sleep now. I need to find Casper. There's a lot of commotion tonight. It sounds like everyone's gone to the woods. Meadow.
Forest. Vegetable mill. Golden chicken burgers. Mill. Lady mill. Morning there. Chicken burgers. Morning house. Yellow farm. Morning there. Yellow house. Town farm. Yellow farm. Brick house. Town farm.
This bonfire is much simpler than the one in Nuremberg. Johann. Otto. Otto says hello, Andreas. Enjoying the bonfire? Your costume looks just like a fancy night dress. Option 1 of 2 I am looking for Casper. Have you seen him? Option 2 of 2 THIS is my night dress, Otto. Option 1 of 2 I am looking for Casper. Otto says him. No, I haven't seen the boy tonight. A group of townspeople went into the forest to collect herbs, though. You might see if he wandered off with them. Enjoy the festival while you're at it, Andreas. We're showing the abbot what for. Otto. Hello, Otto. Central Town. Stahl's house. Issenkopf house. Stahl's house.
Central Town. Central house. Chicken burgers. Central Town. House. Morning mill. Mill. Chicken golden mill. Pet shop. Forest. Mill. Sweet home. Forest. Mill. Chinese station.
Forest.
Waterfall.
Hetty says Johann dear, where are you? Where is that man? Johann?
Where's the man? Old Salt Mine. Waterfall. Old Salt Mine. Johann. Forest. Chinese station.
Casper says Master Andreas. What are you doing out here? Option 1 of 2 Casper, thank God. I was worried when you didn't come back. Where have you been? Option 2 of 2 Casper, what the hell are you still doing up? Why didn't you come back? Option 1 of 2 Casper, thank God. I was worried when you didn't come back. Where have you been? Casper says I was at the bonfire with Killian, but I heard a ruckus from deeper in the woods. I left to go see what it was. Player says Father Gernot? What are you doing out here? Gernot says I was chasing one of the townsfolk, but lost track of the costumed buffoon. The forest is off limits. I'll figure out who's breaking the rules and excommunicate them myself. Casper says what was that? Gernot says someone is screaming in town. They're really taking this nonsense too far this year. Option 1 of 3 let us go back to town and see what's happened. Option 2 of 3 let us go back to town together and see what the noise was. Option 3 of 3 WHAT are we still doing here? Come on. Option 2 of 3 let us go back to town together and see what the noise was. Forest. Casper says hey, I've never seen these flowers before. I wonder where they found them. Who was that running off anyway? Gernot says it's too hard to tell who's who in those stupid costumes. Option 1 of 2 we can worry about that later. Let's check on the town first. Option 2 of 2 who cares? Let's go see what the screaming is about. Option 1 of 2 we can worry about that later. Let's check on the town first. Carl tills ill Peter says dear God. Peter says Werner, is he? Werner says dead. Yes, I'm afraid so. Someone released the rope. The platform crushed him. Gernot says what? How did this happen? Werner says Baltas and Lenhard and I heard the crash and stepped outside to see what had happened. Baltasar says right, and then we saw a figure in a costume rushing off from the rot house. Werner says it must have been whoever released the rope. Peter says, and what were you doing during all of this, Lenhart? Lenhart says, enjoying a light meal with these gentlemen. Ah. What a shame you can't blame me for this, Peter. Player says, Casper, look to see if Otto had a note. Casper says, hey. Player says, do it. Casper says, no, master. There's nothing. Player says, are you certain? Casper says, what were you expecting? Player says, I'm not sure. Eva says, my God. Otto. No, no. Peter says, you. The abbot must have killed him. The bastard always had it out for Otto. We all knew it. Johann says, we need answers. Gernot says, how dare you? I won't just stand here and be accused of such a foul act by a peasant. Peter says, go after him. Casper says, wait, no. The abbot was with us. He's innocent. Option 1 of 2, that's right. There's no way he could have killed Otto. Option 2 of 2, Casper is right, even if we don't have any proof. Peter says, grab the artist and the boy, too. We'll get to the bottom of this. Player says, Casper, run. Player says to the abbey. Gernot says, brothers. To the library, now. Peter says they ran through the church. This way. Player says they've locked the door. Peter says, Andreas, get out of the way. Otto's death demands justice. Player says the abbot couldn't have killed Otto. He was with us when we found the body. Johann says that's true, he did arrive with you, but you don't know where he was before that, do you, Andrea? Peter says, who else would want to kill Otto? Coward. Killer. Andreas, move. Option 1 of 5, I am not moving. I won't let you in. Option 2 of 5, if you go after Gernot, the real killer will get away. Option 3 of 5, I don't like his stance any more than you, but violence is not the answer here, Peter. Option 4 of 5, stand your ground. Option 5 of 5, Gernot would not have had time to run from the commons to the forest to come back with us. Player says there must be another killer, don't you see? Fabian says no. Carl says face. Till says he's a monster. Peter says if those monks don't come out, we'll set fire to the whole place and cook them. Gernot says you've all gone mad. Option 1, Option 4 of 4 every. Option 1 of 4 even if you don't trust the abbot, trust me. I swear he wasn't the one to do it. He was with me. Option 2 of 4 look. Gernot wasn't the only one who disagreed or disliked Otto. There must be someone else who killed him. Option 3 of 4 while you all have good reasons to hate the abbot, but he's not the culprit here. Option 4 of 4 everyone was in costume, so anybody could have had the chance to kill Otto for any reason. Casper says yeah. I didn't recognize most of you in your outfits until you talked to me. Peter says fine, damn it. You've got one day to find whoever you think is the real killer, Andreas. Otherwise, we will come back for the abbot. Eva says, Andreas, all I want is justice for my husband. Please, you must find the murderer. Option 1 of 2, I swear I will find whoever really killed Otto. Option 2 of 2, EVA, Otto was a good man. I won't stop until I find who killed him. Casper says the peasants are really convinced that Gernot killed Otto, but it was impossible. Option 1 of 3, Peter's temper got in the way. The abbot is an easy target because he was at odds with Otto and his cause. Option 2 of 3, it was no secret that Gernot and Otto were at odds. Option 3 of 3, I don't wish death on the man, but the abbot is an ass. Option 1 of 3, Peter's temper got in the way. The abbot is an easy target because he was at odds with Otto and his cause. Casper says, Master, Peter was furious. He's only giving you a day to find the murderer. Why'd you even agree to find who really killed Otto, anyway? It didn't turn out well last time, did it? Why do it again? Option 1 of 3, everyone deserves justice, Casper. Option 2 of 3. Honestly, anything to keep from going back to Nuremberg. Option 3 of 3, I don't want to talk about it. Option 1 of 3, everyone deserves justice, Casper. Casper says, you have a good heart, Master Andreas. So who do you think did it, then? Where do we even start? Player says we should talk to Lenhart. He always hated the peasants and supported the abbot. Casper says he was very vocal against Otto in the town commons the other day. Option 1 of 2, he might have hated Otto enough to kill him. It's worth talking to him and finding out. Option 2 of 2, and if he didn't kill Otto, he might know who else had the motivation to. Casper says, oh, what about Martin Bauer? When we saw him talking to Otto, they seemed to be arguing over something. Player says, it's not likely. Martin supported Otto and the peasants. Option 1 of 2, Martin was always an ass. If they had a bad enough argument, he could have wanted to kill Otto. Option 2 of 2, it would be worth talking to Martin to see what they were discussing. He might have an idea of who would want to kill Otto. Casper says, good idea. Who else? Option 1 of 3, I can't think of anyone else who would want to kill Otto. Option 2 of 3, I am sure we can find some other suspects. Option 3 of 3, Option 2 of 3, I am sure we can find some other suspects. Player says we'll have to do some more investigating to find out who the murderer is, but we'd better move fast. Casper says, could the murderer confess to Father Thomas? Option 1 of 2, probably not. That would be foolhardy. Option 2 of 2, well, maybe. Even if the murderer did, Father Thomas is bound by the seal of confession. He won't tell us. Player says, however, we could eavesdrop on confessions. Since St. John's Eve just happened, the townsfolk will all come in to confess. Casper says, oh, yeah. One of the townsfolk might have heard something, anyway. That's a good place to start. Player says we could also ask around at the Golden Hand. Option 1 of 2, travelers might have seen or heard something useful. Option 2 of 2, people will tell outsiders anything. They might have heard something we missed. Casper says, what about the person who ran by us in the forest? They were wearing these flowers. I've never seen them before. Player says, right, we have to find the source of those flowers in the woods. That might give us some sort of connection to the killer. We have a lot of good places to start. Even though time is short, we have a good chance at finding the real killer. All right, let's get to work.